Okay, great. Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Gilad and I'm an enterprise customer success here at monday.com. Today we're about to go through an advanced webinar, how to manage cross-departmental processes with monday.com. I will guide you through the process that we're about to go through today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them at the Q&A section, and at the end, I'll be more than happy to address all of those questions during the time that we're gonna have. What you are able to, few housekeeping notes, okay? If you have any question, once again, submit it on the Q&A section. I will do my best to answer all of your questions, but keep in mind that if I'm not able to answer your question, feel free to reach out to support@monday.com. We are answering to all of our emails in less than 30 minutes. So feel free to submit any questions that I'm not able to answer there, and you will get a quick answer. The audio will be through your computer, of course, and you're able to dial in if you wish, so keep this in mind. And following the webinar, the recording will be uploaded to to our website, monday.com/webinars. Great. So a couple of things about our agenda today. So what we're about to see, we're about to learn how we're able to do cross-collaboration, cross-department collaboration with monday.com. We will go through a couple of use cases in different departments, and we will see how they are connecting together. So we're going to go through the HR, IT, the sales, the legal, how marketing working with Monday, and how product collaborate with them as well. And of course, how we are able to do account management. And at the end, we are about to get to the Q&A. Roughly, it's going to be around 40 minutes the webinar, and around 20 minutes for the Q&A. So feel free to submit them as mentioned. Okay, great. So moving forward to show you what is the idea and what we're about to cover today. So basically, we're going to go through this process on monday.com, how you're able to do all this collaboration. So we're going to go with Peter. Peter is this person. He's a new person who joined the company. He actually need to go through the HR, then the IT need to take care of him. Later, he will join the sales team. He needs to work on his pipeline, do some sort of activities in order to reach out to his customers. Then whenever he's signing a new deal, he'll be able to communicate with the legal team and with the finance team as well. And then he will need to go, and the finance will need to go to the product team, and eventually a CS or account manager will need to handle those accounts. And in addition, he will need to do some sort of back and forth requests from the marketing to support his pitches and flows that he's managing. So this is the idea that we have in terms of flow. And now I'm jumping into the platform to show you how this process is being managed on the platform. Let me jump here for a second. Okay, perfect. So whenever you're joining to Monday, and this is just an important note, our webinar today is quite advanced. So it's for mainly for people who is quietly familiar with monday.com. If you have any other questions which are more basic, how you create a board, what are board capabilities and stuff like that, you are more than welcome to join to our basic and advanced webinars on the site, that you will be able to gain more information related to the more basic points on the platform. So once again, whenever I'm joining to Monday, as you're familiar, you have your area of my week. And now I'm actually jumping into the board that we're about to discuss today. So I'm jumping here into the new HR. So once again, we mentioned that Peter, he actually joined the company, and he actually, the first place that he actually goes through is actually the HR. And the HR actually have their own onboarding process. They know what each employee need to go through, and all the things that he needs to cover. So basically in this area, you're able to see that there is a board. The board structure is based on a day of signature before starting, new employee seat, and first day, and after 5 days to do some sort of evaluation, how the employee, if he was able to join correctly, if he got all the information that he needed, and if he's ready to start to do his work. So those are the groups that we have here, and you're able to see that the HR owner in this case is actually managing all those steps that the employee need to take care. You're able to see that previous employees like Jeff, Emma, they already joined and they've done everything. They went through all the all their steps that they need to take in order to join the company. You're able also to see that, or what can be done here is basically the HR owner can lock the permissions and make sure that only Peter is able to update this information. So easily can go here, restrict the column edit. He can add, in this case, Peter. Okay, so we have Peter here, and only Peter now is able to update his status in each of every step. So this is something can be easily done here. In this case, as this person is also the admin, so he's also able to update this one. So this one is fairly simple. Someone joining the company, and whenever he joined, as we mentioned, the IT need to do some preparation. So in this case, what we can do, okay, so you can see that this one is create an email account for this person. So you can easily see that what, in this case, the HR owner doing, he's actually going here, choosing the done label, and is able to, you see this, there is a corner which is folded. We are able actually to mention Jeff, which he is part of the IT team, and say, hey, Jeff, Peter just joined. That's all. So whenever I click update, Jeff will get a notification on his account, knowing that there's a new person here named Peter, and he's actually joining to the company. So he needs to do some preparation from his end. Okay, clicking update, you're able to see that now this one is being folded. And if I'm jumping into the item itself, clicking on the item, the right pane is being open, and I'm able to see that, in this case, I've submitted a note to Jeff. It's connected to the item done. It's related to the item done. And then Jeff actually got his notification. Very simple, straightforward. Next step in this case would be Jeff. So Jeff, he got the notification. He knows that there is a new person joining to the company. He actually added Peter's name here as a new employee, and he actually created the following. So he's got his own things that he needs to make sure that he's covering, right? So it's a laptop, mail, Salesforce account, screen, headphones, all the things that they need to cover. So you're able to see that all the employees are here, and this is how Jeff is managing this. So he's got the join date for this employee. Okay, and here there is the HR team is set as a person column in this case. So now we are able to see that all the employees, what they got, what is relevant for them, if it's needed, if it's not needed. And once all of them are ready, once all the items are ready, Jeff can actually come here and say, okay, if this was gray in this case, he's changing this one to yes. And as you can see here, and maybe you also notice that now this one is marked with 1, the notification, you are able to see the following. On top of Monday, we have the capability to create automations and integrations. Automations are actually triggers that happens on Monday and which cause other actions on Monday. Very similar to if this then that, if you're familiar with this tool. So we have a lot of recipes which can automate things. And in this case, what I wanted to do, I wanted to notify the HR team automatically. Whenever this person seat is ready, I want all the team to be notified, because they need to know that this is ready. They can mark all their boards, can update their information. So this is something that is easily can be done. So as you can see here, those are the automations and those are the integrations that we'll talk about in a second as well. But in the automations, what I've created the following rule. When ready changes to yes, notify the HR team. In this case, because I am part of the HR team, you can see that I've got this notification here, which says Peter is now equipment is ready. Okay, so this is a great way, instead of sending email back and forth and so forth, to automate the processes and notify relevant people if something is ready or not, and if they need to take action or not, and so forth. So once again, this one is very simple. Those two boards are quite straightforward. How the HR team and the IT team can communicate flawlessly, and whenever and once again, we have only here like 10 or 5 people, but think if the IT is managing 20 new employees and so forth, the HR will be able to easily just look at this board and better understand, okay, what everyone got, if what is missing, and if they need to take any action from their end. Okay, so if you remember, moving forward, after Peter joined joined the company, went through HR, went through IT, he now actually gets to the sales, and he needs to work with the legal and the finance. And I'll show you what can be done. So once again, Peter's sales pipeline. So time passed, Peter joined the sales team, and he started working on his pipeline. In this case, you are able to see that I've created, he's managing, in this case, Q2. So you can see that the group, this current group is related to Q2, and we have the won area and we have the lost area. So if something lost, it's being moved into this section, and if anything won, it moves into this section. So we will go quickly about for the structure of this board, just to give you a better understanding how it's connected, and then we will discuss about what was automated here and how we communicate with other departments. So in this case, he's got the company name, he's got the assignee, because this is important. We'll talk about it in a second. What is the next step for each one of the companies? You can see I've used the status column in this case to mark what is the next step for each one of those companies in terms of communication. We have the location, the world clock. Maybe he wants to know when is the best time to reach out to them and make sure he's not pinging anyone during the midnight or something. We have the deal size. This is a number column, so you can easily see this here. Close probability. This is something that always managers like to have, so they better understand, okay, what is the probability of closing the deal, the expect close date, and the steps to manage the pipeline. You can see there's a prospect, engagement, proposal. So whenever Peter's manager looking at this board, in this case, he can immediately better understand, okay, where things are standing, what needs to be done. And even as mentioned before, whenever Peter mentioning that something is stuck, he can easily mention here why it's being stuck, and this update will appear here inside of the item, as I've showed you previously. Once again, I have the process column just to better understand what is the process in each and every one of them. I have the manager column because I wanted the manager to be notified about different things. I have notes to add the text and then mention the sales team and the billing team. So once again, very straightforward, very basic in terms of what can be covered here. I want to jump into the automation to show you how this is actually being automated. So a couple of things that I've created here. When a won lost changes to won, notify billing, okay, because billing, as we mentioned, they need to know to start the process whenever the customer actually paid. So this is just an example that this team can be notified, so they immediately can come into the board and know if there are any things that they need to take care of. So this is one. The second thing is 7 days before the expected date arrives, notify the manager. In this case, I just put myself as the person here. But what I've done here, we also have under the automations, we have options to automate things in related to dates. So what we can actually do, we can create an automated notifications for different departments, for different teams, based on a specific date. So in this case, I wanted 7 days before the expected close date to notify the manager, because maybe the account manager, in this case, Peter, needs the manager's support in order to help with things. So this is one. You can also see that I've also created the same for stock. So let's say that if, or in this case, it would make sense to create this one for stock. I think this is related to here. No, this is also for one, but once again, we can easily do this for stock. So for instance, if the account manager changes the status to a specific label, in this case stock, notify this person or notify his team leader and so forth, so they can take action as well and help with his needs. In addition, you're able to see that I've created the automations when something is won. You see this is jumping automatically to the won section, and if something is actually lost, it's jumping automatically to the lost section. So this is something that can easily be addressed. Maybe this one is turned off. when this one is lost, move the item to the group. So once again, you see, this is how you actually set up the automations. When one lost, change to lost. Once again, just move the group to the group. You see, this one is not assigned to the group. So once again, I choose the queue and update this automation. And now whenever I do this here, if I switch this one again, now it will jump into the next section, okay? The group name wasn't assigned there. So this is just an example how Peter is actually working here, how he can notify his manager automatically, how he can notify the billing. And of course, as you probably understand, he can notify to any team, any department, any email address. So keep in mind that this is a great way for managing sales pipeline or account management or biz dev relations, and actually collaborate with different departments in this case, and through the automations and the integrations. And as mentioned before, beside those automations and integrations which are live inside Monday, we also have the integrations which are related to different tools, to external tools, and you are able to see all those tools whenever you click on the automations here, as I clicked just now, and go to add integration. Over here, you are able to see all the tools that Monday can speak with, okay? And important note about this one, most of those tools are able to write in both ways. It means that, for instance, with Gmail, if something happened on Gmail, do an action on Monday. Just an example. And of course, you can see here, if something happened on Monday, do an action on Gmail. So for most of them, as you can see for Slack, and as you can see here on Outlook, most enterprise still using Outlook. So both ways triggers can cause actions on Monday. So just keep it in mind that whenever you actually building your process, the next step would be to create automations and integrations on top of it to better understand or to create the flows automatically. Moving to the next step to show you one more thing, okay, how actually Peter, so Peter working with his, on his deals, and from time to time, someone asking him, hey, why should I buy your solution and not your competitor solution? So in this case, Peter, what he needs to do, he needs to ask some sort of resources for marketing in order to support his requests. So what he can do in this case? So I'm jumping into the marketing collateral requests, and I'll show you what would be in this case. So in this case, I'm wearing the hat of the marketing person. In this case, it's Matt. And Matt actually created a board, and he turned this board into a form. And whenever this one is actually turned into form, I want to show you how this one actually looks. What you can see here, that in this case, Peter, we've seen him previously on the previous board, he can just click on the link and he's gonna say, hey, I need information about IBM, just for instance, okay? And what is requester email? So this is, let's say, this is a, or let's say, Peter at company.com, just for instance. I'll show you how this one is a super powerful tool in order to work with other departments or collect information from different people that you wish in order to create items automatically on Monday. So once again, Peter wants information about Monday and his name. What collateral type? In this case, he wants, I don't know, maybe competitive video, related to video. What is the due date? Maybe Peter got his next call with the customer, like in, I don't know, maybe a week. So we can say, okay, I need this one for May 29th. What is the urgency? In this case, it would be medium because he needs it kind of, quick. What is the competitor name? Once again, you can choose the competitor, whatever. And maybe you can also say, what is the deal size? And I'll explain in a second why this is important. Let's say this is 30K. And now he submitted this request. What you're able to see now, whenever I'm coming here, you're able to see that this item, you see that this is now new request. I can assign, for instance, in this case, I can assign the relevant person. In this case, it's going to be Matt. Okay, Matt can submit himself, and we can, of course, do something automatically. We can automate this process that if the request related to video, submit to one person. If the request was submitting for PDF, submit to different people. So all of those things can be easily automated, but this is a great way for the marketing department to get the request. And previously I mentioned that it's also important to submit the number of dollars in this case. Why? Because at the end, think of the following scenario, that at the end of the queue, for instance, the marketing department would like to sit in the meeting at the end of the quarter and say, okay, we supported all the materials for the sales team, and eventually supported, I don't know, $69K of dollars that in requests. Some of them converted, some of them may not converted, but this is the potential of money that we supported. And this is just a great example. And what I've created here, we also, whenever this, once again, whenever, in this case, once again, Matt, you can see here that already a couple of things are ready in this case. So whenever he uploaded the files or the video or the PDF or whatever, so maybe in this case, and once again, I'm heading here, just now working on it. In this case, I can upload the file from my computer just to show you the idea behind it. Let's say the deck is ready or the video is ready. It was uploaded here. Now you can see it here. And once I'm changing this one to ready, I've created an automation here which say when status changes to ready, send an email to the requester. Okay, so previously I submitted my email. We can do this, of course, automatically. And now whenever I change this one to ready, you see that once this one changed this one to you see, this is from this one. No, this is from the previous one. Let me see what is the automation. Status is ready. Move the item to deliver to request. Okay, so whenever this one actually changed to ready, it actually moved to delivered. But you can also automate to notify the person, maybe add it to a certain folder, share it with the rest of the team, and so forth. So all of those things can be easily automated, and this is a great way to submit requests. And think about this scenario as just for instance, for the IT scenario. You can submit requests for tickets inside of your organization. Think about survey that you are able to look at. And so all of those things can be utilized the form capabilities in order to automatically write items to Monday automatically. And once again, I'm not sure that you're familiar with this, but you have all the filter capabilities. So at the end, you will be able to see, okay, how many PDF requests we had during a certain amount of time. And maybe you want to better understand, okay, who is asking most of the materials, and so forth. So you have also on top of it all the filtering and analytics capabilities that we have in the platform. I'm moving next to the legal board. So as you've seen here, Peter is working with the back and forth with the marketings, asking for the materials and information that he needs. The next one would be the legal board. Okay, so also the legal board, what they're doing, they actually help Peter whenever the deal is being signed or within the process, the back and forth with the customer. So over here, you're able to see how the legal board, how the legal actually working. They have the account manager person here. You have the creation log, because whenever something was added here, they can easily know, okay, when this item was created, how much time we are already working on this one. You're able to see who is the legal owner. Maybe Emma in this case, she's the team leader and she wants to be notified about anything. So also can be available here. You have the status which related to the item. You see this one is locked because only the legal team can update and change the statuses here. I have some folded columns here. You have the timeline, when this one is submitted and what is the due date for this one to be signed. Keep in mind that you also have the timeline view. So whenever you click on those, you are able to see a breakdown. In this case, the breakdown is based on groups, but I can easily change this one, not on status. I'm sorry, this one on status. I can group this one based on the account manager. I want to see each and every account manager, each and every one of the account managers, what they are working with. I can see which deals related to this person and this person. So very, very nice visual way to represent all the things that the legal team working on. Of course, this can be applied to any board. Once again, what you can see here, two boards. One is the agreement, what is the amendment that the team can upload the files here, and then the requester, in this case, the account manager, can be notified about it. What is if this agreement is automatically renewed or not automatically renewed, and so forth. So you can see this is very customizable. You can add whatever you like here. And once again, the couple of things that I've created here, I've created some automations. When a new item is created, notify legal, because eventually whenever Peter is coming into this board and adding a new item. Just for a second, just for this idea. Okay, new one. The legal team wants to be notified automatically on this one because instead of coming here every once in a while, they can be automatically aware that a new item was added here. So this is one. An additional thing that I added here, 3 months before the renewal date arrives, notify the AM. This is also important because whenever the account manager is taking care of the renewal, we want to make sure as the legal team wants to make sure that the account manager is on top of these things, he knows to reach out to the customer and start the renewal discussion in this case. So this is just an example of how, once again, the salesperson communicating with the legal department in this one, fairly smooth and fairly simple. Let's see if I have anything else to do here. So whenever the status change, move the item to signed. So this is very, goes without saying. So once again, if I'm changing this one to signed, this item will jump automatically to the signed section. And once again, this is also something you can play with the filters to better understand, okay, who is closing most of the deals, what is the priority of each one of them, and you know, what is the sum of the total deals and so forth. So once again, keep this in mind. This is another great example of how to communicate between sales and the legal. One more thing here is the finance team. The finance team is probably doing something very similar. Just to show you the idea here, we have the finance owner, we have the salesperson, the deal size, very similar to what we've seen. But in this case, we're also communicating with the different tools. You're able to see that I've added here a link to this account name on Stripe, which is the billing system. So they are able to click on this one and actually get to the billing for this specific account. So also very simple, very nice. Who is the main person and who is the main contact at this company? So the billing will be able to communicate with him if there's anything that is needed. Think about the following scenario: someone is sick, and the owner, the person who worked from the finance department on this one is sick. So you can easily just go here, say, okay, I know this is the person, and start communicating with this person while the other person is missing, just for instance. We have the plan pro with the plan type here, different representation. And once again, this is very tailored. So Monday is, as you're probably familiar with, is very, very similar. It's just like a Lego. You can build whatever that you like, whatever process that you like to represent any process at any level. It can be processes that you're doing on a personal level, task management, things you want to cover during the week, or maybe small processes that you're managing yourselves. It can be a team, let's say, processes that multiple people from the same team are working. And as I'm showing you right now, it can be cross-collaborative between multiple departments. And I'll show you this one also in the procurement process here. The next one would be the product activation board. So once the company actually signed and approved, someone needs to manage the access for the different modules to the different parts. So you can easily do this through here. So once again, in this case, the product is is managing this board. This is the group type, and he's actually, you see, there is the product owner, the sales owner, the account manager, which plan, and actually activating the different modules for different customers based on their need. And once this is activated, the person can actually click on this one, and the owner can click on this one, and automatically the account manager is being notified that the modules has been activated. They can reach out to the customer and start working with him to set up the solution or whatever it would be. The next one would be in account management. So once again, as I mentioned, in this scenario, the account manager is actually getting notification. And the account manager in this case is managing all the engagement and relations with the account, with the accounts. So Ben in this case, okay, you can see this one is related to Ben. This is the team. Those are all the accounts that he's managing. You can see there are multiple here for Ben and William in this case. And here you're able to see that they are assigned who is a person that works what is the account status, if it's active, it's on hold, and maybe if it's on hold, someone needs to be notified, when is the beginning and the end. So very simple and straightforward once again. And over here, he can actually manage all his activities as he done an handover, an intro call, monthly email, training and on-site visit, just to show you the idea. It can be any structure or any other touch point that you can think of. So once again, this is just a nice example of how you are able to manage the account management team in one board to better understand where things are standing. And I've created also an automation here, 2 days before the renewal date, arrive, notify legal, because the legal need, in this case, they need to start working on the draft of the agreement, on the draft of the renewal, and so forth. Before jumping into the Q&A section, I want to show you one more scenario. This is the procurement process. Here, in this case, we have a lot of steps with multiple stakeholders and multiple approval steps. But this is a great example, again, how you can manage one process across multiple departments. And here, this is much more than 2 departments. So what you can see here, people are able to submit the request for a new software within the company. Maybe it will be Zendesk, Salesforce, or any other solution. You are able to see here the submitter name, the request name. And in this case, it's starting to be more interesting because the manager need to approve the owner's, this person request. And what you can see in this case, you're able to see all the chain. The chain is the manager approval, budget owner approval, the procurement team approval, the finance approval, and eventually the legal approval. And what the automations that I've created here in order to automate all this process would be that whenever this item, the manager approval, is changed to approved, notify this person. And whenever this one is approved, notify the procurement team. And whenever the procurement team is approved, notify the finance. So you're able to see that this is also it's a great way of communicating and seeing the whole process in one item here, in one line. In this case, you're also able to communicate around something. So let's say the requester uploaded the file, or maybe the legal uploaded the file, and there can be communication around this file. So if something needs to be added, something needs to be removed, maybe the pricing is too high. So all the communication is actually on the communication section, which is in the right pen. But keep in mind that eventually whenever someone is, I don't know, the CFO at a certain point wants to come in, say, okay, I want to see all the requests that are currently open to better understand what is the current budget security that I need to do. So he's able to just come in here and see all the information. You're able to see the files. You are able also, of course, to communicate with the security team. So very nice idea of how you can actually manage the whole process here with the automations I mentioned, and of course, with the integrations through emails, through Slack, through Google Drive to share documents and so forth. Okay, perfect. The last thing I want to cover with you today is the dashboards. The dashboards, if you're not familiar with them, is actually the option to integrate multiple boards into one single view in a different, in more visual way. And in order to show you the dashboard, I would like to guide you for a minute through the idea behind it. So I'm jumping into the Q1 projects here. You're able to see that I have Q1 project, I have January project, February project, and March projects. This one is related to marketing, but keep in mind that this can be anything, okay? Any project that you're managing. So here there are projects related to marketing event, new homepage, the use case pages, new use case page. So, and every board has its own structure, very similar to the ones that we've seen previously. But let's say that I would like to see this from a high-level view, team leader, management level, and I want to combine the information from all of those boards together. So this can be done through dashboards. And as you can see here, I'm jumping straight into the Q1 dashboard that actually aggregates all the information. And what you're able to see here is the following. I'm able to see all the tasks and what is the status of each and every one of them. I'm able to see what is done, what is on hold, what is not assigned yet. Maybe those things need to be assigned. And I need to better understand who to assign them to. I have the numbers, so I have better understand, okay, what is the, in this case, spend, and maybe if you're managing pipeline, you can better understand, okay, what is expected to come in, and so forth. Countdown to the end of the month. I'm able to see the load of tasks per person. I'm able to see the team split, which teams it's related, and I'm able to see multiple groups for multiple boards in this case. Important note about this widget, because this one is a bit sophisticated. What you're able to do here, whenever you click on this one on the green, the widget will actually go and pull all the information which related to the green item across all the boards. So you will be able to go through all of them and go through this one. So just keep it in mind that this is a great way that allows you to drill down into the items that actually contribute to those percentages. And this is just an example of those of dashboard that and what are the capabilities for each and every one. You're able to do multiple boards with multiple graphs and represent more than 10 boards in one dashboard. And eventually you will be able to share those dashboards through here with any team member or any one of the management, if you like, for them to see the activities that you're doing from high level. And eventually, whenever the boards are being updated, the boards are updated automatically. That's all from my end.